Welcome to the AmRRON Communications channel and JS8Call Video 2, AmRRON Operations with JS8Call. This will be a much shorter video, and we're going to cover the features that you'll be using in JS8Call right now. Okay, first of all, if you have not already watched video 1, please go back and watch that for the JS8Call download and setup configuration, which will really help, especially for AmRRON operations. But this is not limited to just AmRRON operations. You don't have to be in AmRRON to use this software. You don't have to be a member of AmRRON to tune into the AmRRON nets or frequencies and get information, news, and intelligence from the AmRRON network. But once you do set that up, as you're downloading the software, make sure to download the JS8Call guide. It's a free PDF that the developer has put together that goes over all of the features built into JS8Call. This is a wealth of information. And even if you've been using JS8Call for a long time, you will learn new things about the capabilities of this software. So we'll demonstrate here with this fictitious made-up EFG or E5FG. I just threw a number in there so it looks and acts like a call sign. I'll deselect that. So we've got our station EFG and our group at AmRRON added from our setup. And we're going to cover some of the features that are most commonly used. This weak signal mode software is ideal for short messages, but it's super helpful to know the different kinds of messaging the developer built into JS8Call and some of the unique characteristics of each of the three types of messaging. The three types are free open text, which is not specifically addressed to any station or group. The next kind of messaging is direct messaging, and that's directed to another specific station. And then finally, the at group message is the third type of messaging. Now with free open text, you basically type what you want to send here, and it is not specifically aimed at any specific group or individual. This will just go out over the air. But only other stations on the same offset, like the same place on the waterfall, they have to be here at 2150 where you are transmitting to be able to copy your message. It's just like FL Digi, and a lot of operators don't know this. The second or the next type of message is a direct message. This is where you are directing it to another station. So you can do that simply by tapping on the call sign that you want to send a message to. And you'll see right here, type your outgoing directed message to E5FG here. So this is a test message. And you hit enter. You will begin transmitting, and you can continue typing as well. It will just continue adding your text that you're typing into this box until you're done typing, and it will send all of your text. The other type of message is a group message. You tap on the group that you want to send a message to, and it will be highlighted in blue. It will get rid of my test message here that I didn't send. When you tap on a group, it will add it down here to your outgoing field window. Type your outgoing directed message to at AmRRON here. So this is another test message to AmRRON group. Okay, so as soon as you hit enter, it will start transmitting that on the next, at the beginning of the next 15-second time window. And this will be read by everybody that is in the AmRRON group who is within this passband right here. This is your frequency or waterfall location, your specific location. And this entire thing here is your passband. That's everything that you're receiving. If you have a station or a group that is selected and indicated by being highlighted in blue here, you can deselect that by right-clicking and going down to deselect at AmRRON. So then you're back to free text where it's just going out on your location on the waterfall and not directed to any individual person. And you can add a station or a group at any time. Let's say you get on the air and you've been monitoring for a few minutes. There's a buddy of yours that you normally communicate with on a regular basis, and you don't see him listed here. You would like to do an SNR request, a query, to see what type of a path you have with him at that time of the day. And he's not listed here. So what you can do is right-click and add a new station or group and just add his call sign. So let's go ABCD, and click OK, and not a valid call sign. That's why we put a number in there. So let's go A7BCD. There we go. It's got to be alpha, numeric alpha to accept it. So now you got ABCD in there, and now you can send him a message or do a query to find out what his signal report is, or so on. And you can remove a station too, just by right-clicking and either deselect him or relay through him, or you can remove that station. Go up to the blue button in the upper right-hand corner. Right now it says Normal plus Multi. That's an abbreviation of your settings, so you can just glance at the button and you know what is turned off and what is turned on. So clicking on that brings your drop-down menu. These items we already covered in the last video, the decoder sensitivity and your speed. So let's go down here. Enable simultaneous decoding of all speeds. I believe that's turned on by default. You want to turn on enable auto reply with confirmation. By the way, each time you select one of these items from the drop-down, it closes the dialog box. So you have to click to reopen it. All right, go to enable heartbeat networking. If you don't enable this, you will not be able to send a heartbeat. You will not activate this setting up here in control. It's trying to get your attention up there in the upper left. You hover or click on the control button and you'll see a drop down. This right here is where you send your heartbeat, but see, it's grayed out. You can't send a beacon. So this needs to be turned on. Going back over to the upper right, click on our blue button, enable heartbeat networking. That will then enable that feature so you can send a heartbeat. And enable heartbeat acknowledgements. This is an option. Some people turn these on, some people turn them off. It depends on how much your station is transmitting and how much power you have. If you're trying to conserve power, you might want to leave that off. But when others beacon or heartbeat, then this helps build everybody's network up. So that's where you can tell who's hearing whom when you're looking for stations that can copy each other. But we'll leave that off for right now. The main point is now we have activated our beacon feature. Come down here to heartbeat, and we recommend do not heartbeat any more than, say, once an hour. Once you get on frequency, you turn your station on for the first time, or when you switch bands, go ahead and shoot out a heartbeat or a heartbeat. And if you're going to have this automatically repeat, no more than 60 minutes is fine. That helps reduce congestion. You do not need to be sending one out every 10 minutes. Most of us, and myself, I will leave on demand, do not repeat selected. So I will go ahead and send a heartbeat now. And when this green bar reaches that 15, or when the next 15-second time hack starts, it will begin transmitting. And it sends your call sign, heartbeat, and your grid square. So that's what everyone else will see. And any other stations who have their heartbeat acknowledgements turned on will reply to you acknowledging that they received your heartbeat or your beacon. So let's take a look at the kinds of messages and queries that are built into JS8Call. Go over to a call sign and right-click. That will highlight them, and then you'll see a drop-down menu here. These are different options that you have. And here what I want to focus on is directed to EFG. You just hover over that and you'll see another drop-down menu. And these are some of the built-in messages. You can reply to a message. You can send a SNR. That's how strong you are copying him in dBs. And you can send the contents of your info field. You can send your grid. Then for queries, you have these commands here that are followed by a question mark. So you're querying this station. What is my signal report? So up here, you'll see the signal strength that you detected him under this SNR column. And you're copying this station at minus 12 dB. So when he replies to an SNR report, that will show up over here in black. And he will be telling you, I copy you at minus 10 dB. And then you'll know how strong your signal is reaching him. And over here is how strong of a signal that you are receiving from him. So let's right click on here. Let's go back down to directed to him. And so you can query info, what's in their info field, what their grid is, their grid locator, their status, whatever is in the status field. Let me take you back to the setup here, up in the upper left-hand corner, File, Settings, and Station. So this is where that information would be pulled from. On his end, on the other end, when you query what is your status, it's going to send whatever is in the status field. And this is your Maidenhead grid locator. When you do a query of their grid square, their location, then that's going to be sent. So let's close this and go back to our EFG station and directed. So you can send several different queries, including what stations are you hearing? This is very important. If you are trying to get a message to Tennessee and the farthest, you are located in Washington State, you can hear Colorado. So you do a query on this Colorado station to find out who is he hearing, and he will come back with several call signs and tell you who he's hearing. And lo and behold, there's your Tennessee station that you need to get a message to that you can't reach directly. You can send a relay message to that Tennessee station. And I'm going to come back to this in just a minute because it falls into the sending direct messages category. So let's talk about direct messages. Let's say we see N0PQ, NOPQ here, and we want to send them a direct message. Right click, go down to directed to, and then we can send a message. Here it says, please store this message in your inbox. So we will send sending test message. So as soon as you hit send, it will begin transmitting at the next 15-second time hack. And when that's received, you should receive an acknowledgement back that he received it. And on his end, he will have a little black flag right next to your call sign on his screen, indicating that he has an unread message. So to read messages, if you were the receiving station, right click and go down and show message inbox. Now, here we have no messages in our inbox, so this is grayed out. But when you have a message, you can show your message inbox, and then the black flag would disappear after you've opened the message. So we can send this message directly to another station. Now, I can also relay. So let's take a look at, and let's get rid of this. We'll clear. Make my mouse pointer larger. There we go. So N0PQ, right click, directed to, and go down to a message to. So what I can do is I can send a message to another station through him. And what this here does is stores your message. So you can relay, and see up here underneath directed to. Well, instead of directing it to him, we're going to relay through him. So we want to reach our station, our friend in Tennessee, ABCD or A4BCD. This will show this little caret here to the right, or this greater than symbol next to his call sign, and you add in your buddy's call sign, A4BCD, and then another greater sign, and your message. Hello, with a W. Hello, how are you? And then you hit send. And this will forward through N0PQ. He will immediately turn around and retransmit it to A4BCD. So let's say we want to send this message. How are things there? All good here. And we want to send that to our buddy in Tennessee. So N0PQ in Colorado would relay this message to A4BCD. You should get an acknowledgement once ABCD in Tennessee receives your message. But let's say he's not on the air at the time. You don't get a acknowledgement back. He doesn't receive the message. Well, what you can do is have the message stored in Colorado to be retrieved by your Tennessee station ABCD. To do that, you direct a message to NOPQ or N0PQ. So you go down to directed, and then you select message to. Please store this message at your station for later retrieval by this call sign. So we're going to select that. And we're going to add our buddy's call sign in there. So this is N0PQ message to, and the call sign is going to be our Tennessee buddy's call sign, A4BCD. And then our message. How are things there? All good here. And then you hit enter. And what this will do is it stores this for retrieval until your Tennessee station comes up online. So Tennessee station comes up online and he puts out a query. Do I have any messages? Query messages. Do you have any messages for me? A message will be assigned a number by JS8Call, and Colorado will respond, yes, message 358. And so then Tennessee can retrieve message 358 from Colorado. by typing in N0PQ, which is the Colorado station, query message 358. The Colorado station will pull up that message and send message 358 to Tennessee. And these are just some of the features. We really encourage you to get on the air and experiment with these and just go through these, find some stations online that you can work, that you have a good path with, and test sending messages. Just send a test message. Hey, trying out JS8Call. And the operators on the air would be more than happy to participate. And a lot of this is automated. And these stations don't even necessarily have to be manned. They could be away from their station, taking care of other tasks. And as long as they have their enable auto reply turned on, then it will automatically relay these messages and acknowledge. Okay, now let's take a look at group calling. So instead of an individual station like our EFG station, now we're going to deal with everybody that's added AmRRON to their groups list, which in your setup, that's up here in your settings. And the general tab, station tab, right here, call sign groups, comma separated. So we have @AmRRON added. That's how this got here. So just like with an individual station, you can right click on the group and you have the drop down menu, and now you can direct a message or a query to the AmRRON group. Probably one of the most common ones is the SNR report. Let's say you get on the air, you're sitting there listening, it's been several minutes, you haven't seen anybody transmitting, you want to know who's out there on the air right now. There's not a scheduled net taking place. It's pretty much persistent presence net. And so you want to send an SNR report to @AmRRON. Everybody who copies you in the AmRRON group will reply with an SNR report. So let's say you are in Colorado and you get on the air. You're trying to find out who all is out there. You would send a SNR query to the @AmRRON group. So then you start to get responses. Other stations that are on the air that have a good copy on you hear this, and then they will reply. And what they'll do is they'll send back the signal strength that they are copying you. And so you'll see, Idaho -4 dB, Oregon -3 dB, California -7 dB. And so this will let you know what your signal strength is with these other stations. Now, JS8Call doesn't provide a map, but this is why you want to build a network. And a lot of our operators leave their stations on throughout the day, and they build a network of stations that are sending and receiving SNR reports. This gives you a really good understanding of how your station is doing at different times of the day on the different bands. So right now, this Colorado station, he can pretty much reach north, from west to east, north, but to the south and southeast, a little weaker. They're copying him at -19 dB in Texas, -15, -13. So this gives them a really good understanding, a mental picture of how his signal's doing and where he's reaching and who's on the air. Each of those stations that reply will be added over here to the right to the calls heard list. And you'll also take a note at the time delta of each of these stations. In this time delta column, you'll see, 699 milliseconds off. Somebody's drifting, you or maybe him. And as you see these now, if everybody else is -100, or if they're 100, 200 milliseconds, it's probably him that's drifting. But if it's you, then you can make appropriate adjustments down here in your timing section, which was covered in the last video. Now, as I said, this is a network. You are building a network. The more you can send out your beacons or heartbeats, and the more you receive from others and exchange SNR reports, then that helps build your network, because that's going to help you understand when you hover over this call sign right here, you'll see who he's hearing without having to send a query to inquire. And the longer you're on the air, the more data that you will collect and other stations will collect. And you'll see easily 4, 5, 6 stations hearing, 10 stations who he can hear. So the longer you're on the air, the more stations that you can hear, the more of this information will be populated here, which is useful for others in the network, understanding who they have a good path with, who they can relay through, and so on. Those are the main features that I wanted to cover. That will get you functional and operational. Even if you're not licensed, even if you're not in AmRRON, you can gain so much information, because people will be typing short messages and stat reps and announcements over JS8Call. And much like Morse code, CW, a very little bit of power will go a long ways, and you'll see stations all over the country. If you have a good antenna, an external antenna connected to your shortwave radio or SDR, software-defined radio, or your ham radio, whatever you have, it's really all about the antenna. But this will get you functional. And if you can transmit and you're licensed to do so, then this is how you do it. All right, guys, that's all I got for this one. More to follow. So stay tuned. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment. And if you have questions, post your questions down in the comments section. We'll try to help you get your comms up. All right, this is John Jacob Schmidt, out.